My studio is a place for openness and curiosity. Playing is essential. My work is partly about the philosophy of making it. I grew up in eastern Iowa in a family of engineers and mathematicians with a creek behind my house. I loved to notice the shifts in the meandering path of the creek as rain and melting snow caused it to erode and change. It both excited and upset me that the creek never stayed the same. Just like the creek, my work is in a state of flux. I've always appreciated Agnes Martin's work. It feels rebellious to me that she only painted grids. I love the serenity of her paintings. I like the grid as a container for exploring ideas. I like it as a restriction, and then trying to come up with every variation within the limits. Having something to push against is generative for me. I started collecting paint samples specifically to challenge myself with color. I would pick a handful of colors at random and then try to find a way to unite them harmoniously with one more color. I love looking at houses on my walks, food packages, toys, and dishes at thrift stores. Sometimes I will force myself to use a color I hate. If I'm stuck in a painting, I'll ask, what would be the worst color I could put there, and do that. I'm interested in the concepts of imperfection and messiness. The grids lean into their mistakes, accentuating irregularity and soft geometry. My work explores the grid while considering color, puzzles, and games, and I continue to be inspired by science fiction, outer space, and mathematics. I'm interested in science fiction as a container for an experiment. What would happen if I changed this one rule? What is the ripple effect of this one twist? This is one of the ways in which I connect my work to science fiction. I'm creating a story, or a painting, with a real world, the grid, and then asking, what would happen if I made this rule? What would happen if I was only allowed to do this list of things? I never know what the painting will end up looking like. I need to complete the experiment to find out. The same goes for works of science fiction. The author must enact this experiment through story to find out what would happen. At the beginning of the pandemic, I read Octavia Butler's The Parable of the Sower. The book follows the story of a woman named Lauren, set in the near future, who starts a new religion. In the book, the United States has been affected by climate change and authoritarian Christian leaders, and the country is crumbling. Lauren's new religion, called Earthseed, is an amalgamation of various religious traditions combined with ideas she comes up with on her own. The core of Earthseed is the importance of change, shown in this quote. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. Reading this at the beginning of a global pandemic was powerful. I had to accept that life would be different for the foreseeable future and that might never look the same way again. I also think this idea of change applies well to an art practice. Knowing that everything is constantly shifting and changing helps me explore ideas as they come up. Friday Night is part of a series of 3 paintings based on the same drawing. I nicknamed the series the Candyland paintings because the source drawing depicts a board game twisting and turning like a Mobius strip. The image becomes a knot that can't be untangled. Friday Night explores the colors of homes I've walked by in Madison, color combinations of bracelets I braided as a child, and the play between saturated and desaturated colors. I want to accentuate the soft geometry, mimicking the distortion of an image seen beneath rippling water. Genealogy is important in my current body of work. As I make choices in each painting, I see paths set out before me of different possibilities. This is why there are 3 Candyland paintings. It was essential that I explore this form multiple times with different rules and colors each time. I try to follow each path in new work, thus creating a link between each painting. I think of the Candyland paintings as siblings. In this way, I see myself charting an emerging family history. I love the poetry of found phrases. I keep a running list of things people tell me they think of when they look at my paintings. A game you've lost the instructions to, an unfurling flag, a crossword puzzle you've done in the bathtub and the paper has warped from a splash of bathwater, the possibilities of a Saturday morning, the toys in dentist offices used to distract you while you wait, a labyrinth, a hidden message specifically devised to communicate with extraterrestrials, a reorganized spiderweb, a smashed disco ball, a circuit board garden.